here around the South Carolina islands.
This fella come here and walk up on the bank and say, "What are you doing up on that bank there?" And he said, "Don't you notice
It's
my
thought
bank?"
by many people to be the closest we can get to the kind of language that would have been spoken by the slaves in the 18th and early 19th centuries, and that this is the origin of modern Afro-American vernacular.
After John get off about 50 feet off, and John look over there, and he gone to his boat, and he look, his boat done sank down. He start hollering, "Hey, help, help!" John said, "I ain't roughing shit."
We put together varying African words along with Elizabethan English and came out with something that sounded like a this year when Hona de Yeti we to talk like a this. So sometimes people think maybe it's English, then they go, but not quite. There were Igbos, Mandinkas, Malinkes, Yorubas, Golas, Gidzi, Afik, Mende that were all kidnapped, captured, and then isolated together on these islands during enslavement.
Once the slaves reached the plantations, they lived in cabins like these beside the main house. Here, many words that came into Gullah from African languages have found their way into standard English. Words such as banana, which comes from a Wolof language spoken in Senegal, and voodoo, traceable to an African word for spirit in the language spoken by the Yoruba people. Other African words which have entered standard English include the animals zebra, gorilla and chimpanzee, the musical terms samba, mambo, banjo and bongo, and the food and plant names guba, meaning peanut, yam and gumbo, meaning okra. African compound words were translated, giving English terms like badmouse, and nitty-gritty originated as a term for the grit that accumulated in the bilges of slave ships. As well as vocabulary, Gullah employs some grammatical features that differ from standard English.
If someone say, "Hona going for do that," I be done do them. Okay? So they ask you, "Are you going to do it?" I already did it. And I did it a long time ago, essentially, is what you're saying. I be done do them. I done do that. You see? So if you hear somebody say, "I done do that," that means they did it and they did it a long time ago. And why are you asking me it? Or again, basically. So it's a lot more going into it. So if someone said, "Well, Hona going over there," Hona done yet, they say, "You going over there." I be done yet that. But it done do that too. But I didn't go in there, but they ain't be did it. Why Hona ain't be did it? When I be did it, Hona ain't be did it. You see? So it's like, well, you were going over there. Yeah, I already went there. But when I went, you weren't there. But I was there. But you're right. I wasn't there when you were there.
Phrases like these have a rich and economical expressiveness. In other ways, Gullah and other black Englishes have stripped down their grammar. They drop verbs like is, use don't where standard English says doesn't, and omit the apostrophe and s that standard English uses as a sign of ownership. This kind of simplification is common when languages meet and emerge as a new hybrid. It's exactly what happened when Saxons and Danes dealt with each other in England in the 9th century and changed English grammar forever. But in this case, the changes were mistakenly taken by many white observers as evidence that black speakers just hadn't got the intelligence to speak the language properly, that they were simply trying and failing to copy white speech. In fact, they were adding to the language.
Now listen here, you know some people say they're your friend and thing, but they ain't always your friend. Like that bird rabbit, that boy know he ain't nothing to him. You hear what I say? That cutter was slow motion and that bird rabbit just as slick as him wanna be.
But black speakers had their own tradition of performances that showed just how flexible and expressive their language was. They told stories, and they're still told today.
And now Hong Tong come, row, 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 row. And oh, I tell you, bird rabbit, he'll take off and lickety split.
Brer Rabbit is a direct descendant of animal tricksters who feature in African folklore.
I say, bird rabbit, you to tell the truth about cutter? He say, yes, sir, ma'am. I say, you lie thing, ain't no truth in you. Ain't no truth in you, no way.
But folktales weren't the only thing that fueled dreams of freedom. With English, the slaves had learned Christianity. White society thought it would teach obedience. The Bible became as central to the lives of the slaves as it had been to the first settlers in New England. But the message they found in it wasn't obedience. It was liberty. Once again, the Bible in English became the book of freedom.
Yeah, Jesus calling. All I want for God.